Hello and welcome to ApexToOval for your weekly motorsports news recap. I'm your host, Alex. Jack is not with us today. He went on vacation. So he'll be with us next week. He's not with us this week. It is just me. I apologize. Let's start out with what's on deck for today. We have two NASCAR articles, three F1 articles, an IndyCar article, and we have race recaps for all the races. So let's get into it. Starting off with NASCAR, the appeals panel amended RFK and Chris Buescher's penalty a little bit. The National Motorsports Appeal Panel met on Wednesday, and after hearing all sides, decided that Buescher's 60-point deduction will only be 30 points. That moves Chris Buescher from 23rd in the championship to 16th. The rest of the penalty, which was a deduction of 5 playoff points from both team and driver, a $75,000 fine, and their crew chief being suspended for 2 races, will stand. Just to also throw in there, the crew chief for the number 17, Scott Graves, already served his penalty, so he is back this week. But just a note on that. Personally, I think it's cool that Chris Buescher's penalty got appealed a little bit. Obviously, Buescher being 23rd in the standings, he's pretty much done. Like, he wouldn't have made the playoffs unless he won a race, right? Moving up to 16th, he has a little bit of a chance. You know what I mean? At least a little bit. But I'm happy to see that. He's a good, damn good driver. So that's always good. Moving on to our second NASCAR article. NASCAR is adding 2 more starting positions in the Xfinity Series for the Mexico City race. Now, the Mexico City race is in a couple of weeks. This week we have Nashville, and the week after, June 14th. No. So we have the Nashville race this week, and then 2 weeks from this week, we'll have the Mexico City race for the Xfinity Series. But there were news that came out that they're adding 2 more spots for the race. Although there's 2 starting positions, or 2 more starting positions, there are some stipulations in there that are a little confusing. Number 1, the 2 new cars that are qualifying will not be eligible for prize money. That's number 1. Number 2, the 2 new charters, or not charters, but the 2 new cars that are being used will not receive driver or owner points at all. In this situation, say the new edition finishes 13th and Connor Zilic finishes 12th. Connor Zilic will stay. Oh, sorry, I mixed that up. Say the new car finishes 12th and Connor Zilic finishes 13th. Connor Zilic will not be moved up to 12th, but will get 12th place points, if that makes sense. So he'll still be 13th, but the regulars in Xfinity will get the points from the place above, unless those 2 charter cars finish last. So, stipulation number 2. The 2 new cars cannot receive credit for a win or any playoff benefits for a win. And in this case, if one of these new cars win the race, second place will be moved up to receive points for first, but will not receive credit for a win. Again, say Connor finishes in second and this new car finishes in first, right? Connor Zilic will not get credit for the win, but he will get points for the win, if that makes sense. He'll get points for first, but not move up to first. And finally, the new 2 cars will not receive any playoff points for stage wins or race wins. So, again, let's give a Connor Zilic scenario. Say the new car is first and a stage win or race win, and say Connor is second for the stage win or race win. Connor will not receive the playoff points, but will still receive the first place points for the stage or the win. If that makes sense. It's a little confusing, but they are adding 2 extra spots, so those are the rules that are given. Personally, I think it's good that they're doing this. I like more cars. You know, in F1, they tend to not want more cars. But I like more cars on the grid. I think it makes it more interesting, more fun for everyone. So I'm very excited for this race in Mexico City in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. On to Formula One. Formula One is adding a new regulation for the Spanish Grand Prix and beyond. The new regulation decreases the amount of flexing from the front wing to allow a 10-millimeter gap when a load is applied on both sides and a 15-millimeter gap if only on one side. This is a decrease from 15 millimeters from both and 20 millimeter from one side before the new rule. This should hopefully level the playing field among all the teams. Also to note, Red Bull and Ferrari have been asking for this change for a while because of McLaren's. They're the main culprit for this, I'm pretty sure, according to Ferrari and Red Bull. Don't know how true that is, but according to them, McLaren's wing flexes too much within the rules, and they wanted it reduced, and it got reduced. This does also reduce drag, I believe. It reduces drag and lowers top speed, so it'll just level the playing field over all the teams, hopefully. And we'll see some better racing and not the McLaren's 30 seconds ahead of everyone. But I digress. Next up, Formula One has released limited edition F1 movie merchandise. You can see it right here. Hopefully, I'll get a picture of it or some pictures over here. But yeah, for people who want merch from the F1 movie, you can now get it. And as I said, it looks like this. It just says APX F1, something like that. It's supposed to be Apex F1, so you got your new merch. Which it kind of actually looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, so I might cop some. And our final F1 article is PepsiCo, the creator of Pepsi, Gatorade, such and such, is now an official sponsor of Formula One. According to PepsiCo, the partnership should bring on packed promotions, digital experiences, and unique content that will bring Formula One to a wider audience. I'm very excited about this. As someone who does not have the most money in the world and cannot afford most of the brand partnerships that these F1 teams do, Reese X McLaren, this is nice. Because I think maybe they'll put the drivers in the Gatorade. I can get a Gatorade and boom. Lewis Hamilton right there. Right? So that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what they're going to do in terms of on-pack promotions and digital experiences. Are they going to have a digital experience where we get to meet drivers? Maybe. Maybe not. And on-pack promotions, I mean, all brands do on-pack promotions. I'm just very excited to see what they do. Because normally they have some pretty good ones. Also, this includes Doritos, I believe. So this is very interesting for me because Doritos normally has some good, on-pack promotions. They had some for Minecraft a while back. They had some for Call of Duty. They had some for all these other video games and stuff. So I'm excited to see what they bring to Formula One for that. And now we're on to our IndyCar news, our one and only. 3 Indy 500 finishers were sent to the back of the field after post-race inspections. That is correct, 3. Marcus Ericsson, who finished 2nd, and Kyle Kirkwood, who finished 6th, were sent to the back of the grid because of a modification to the Dallara supplied energy management system covers and the cover to the A-arm mounting points with unapproved spacers and parts. The IndyCar rule states that EMS covers must be used as supplied, and that was not the case in Ericsson or Kirkwood's cars, so they were disqualified to the back of the field. The second one was Callum Elliott, who I forget where he finished, but we'll find out later. He was sent to the back of the grid because his car's front wing failed to meet the minimum end plate height and location specifications. In the IndyCar rules, all end plate, wing flaps, and main planes must remain in the designated location. So that was not the case in Callum Elliott's case, and he was also sent to the back of the grid. So excited to see, especially for Ericsson and Kirkwood, who were very high up in the standings. Ericsson lost the Indy 500 in almost the final 8 laps or something. Not the final 8 laps, sorry. In the final 10 laps or whatever to Palou, but we'll get into that at our race recap. But yeah, I mean, it was a good race overall, and sad to see that Ericsson, Kirkwood, and Elliott were both all disqualified. Elliott was also, I believe, the only Prima driver to finish the race. I think Schwartzman crashed at some point, so that is very sad. Now, let's get into the race recaps for people who haven't seen the race or are looking to see the race. Let's get into the recaps. For the Truck Series, it was the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Your winner was Corey Heim. He beat out Ross Chastain in second, and then it was Honeycutt, Riggs, Busch, Enfinger, Mills, Hemrick, Carruth, Jones, and Garcia in 10th. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I watched the end of the race. It was a good race. You know, Corey Heim, obviously beating the Cup drivers is really nice. Sad to see. I was rooting for Chastain. I'm not gonna lie. I like Chastain, but we'll get into it later because he did some, and he did a little some. And yeah, Corey Heim won. Chastain gave him a run for his money, and Busch, I was surprised he didn't win. Normally, if he goes to the Trucks or Xfinity, it's an easy win for him, and this time he finished in 5th. He didn't qualify as well though, as he normally does, so that also might have been an issue. But still, 5th place for Kyle Busch is below average, I'm pretty sure, for him in the Trucks. Their next race is called the Rackley Roofing 200. It is tomorrow. At the time of this recording, it is tomorrow, Friday, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Nashville. Now I have predictions. Jack's prediction: Lane Riggs. I don't know why he picked Lane Riggs. He didn't give me an explanation. He said Lane Riggs. He said Lane Riggs or Kyle Busch, depending on who I picked, and I picked Busch. So yeah, I picked Kyle Busch for tomorrow. And I'm not going to lie, Busch is coming back for revenge. 5th place for Busch, nuts. He's coming for that win, and I do believe he's going to easily win it. So it's Kyle Busch, man. He eats up Xfinity and Trucks like it's nothing. So like, you can't really bet against him in the Trucks or Xfinity Series. Now on to the Xfinity Series. It was the BetMGM 300 on Saturday, this past Saturday. Again, Charlotte Motor Speedway. And William Byron domination. It's pretty much the only way you can describe it. That's it. William Byron domination. Carlos Ellis finished in second, followed by Nick Sanchez, Justin Allgaier, Dean Thompson, Williams, Austin Hill, Ryan Ellis, Christian X, and Sheldon Creed. It was a good race again. It was good. Again, William Byron is just so freaking good, man. I swear to God, he's such a good driver. Championship worthy, obviously, in the Cup. Comes down to Xfinity or Trucks and just dominates. I mean, there's nothing that you can do to prevent it. The next race is at Nashville, obviously, Saturday, May 31st at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Prediction-wise, Jack has Justin Allgaier. Again, I don't know why, but he does. And mine is Connor Zelic, and I'm looking for revenge for Connor Zelic. I like Connor. He's my favorite driver in the Xfinity, and then Jesse Love. I think Connor Zelic is going to win in Nashville because it's Connor Zelic. He's the GOAT. Future 10-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. So, there you go. Let's get into the first race on Sunday. You have the Monaco Grand Prix. Now, this is going to be a quick one. Lando Norris wins the race from pole. I mean, if you don't win the race from pole, you're kind of just bad. You kind of just suck. I'm not gonna lie. You're like a bottom one driver if you don't win from pole at this track. It is so hard to pass, and with how big the cars are, and how do you lose from pole? You don't. Charles Leclerc came in second, and he finished 3.1 seconds behind Lando Norris at the end of the race. He was hounding him though. He was hounding his ass. Towards the end of the race, he was very quick. He got up to 2 tenths away from Lando, but could never get the pass. Oscar Piastri came in third to round out the podium. Then Max, Lewis, Hadjar got points. Ocon got points. Lawson got points. Albon got points. Carlos Sainz got points. Double Williams points. double RB points, Haas points. It was a great week. Both Mercedes finished outside the points. George Russell in 11th. Kimi Antonelli in 18th. And he was the only driver, he was the last driver to not DNF. Your DNFs were Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly. Gasly, his brakes didn't work, crashed into the back of Sonoda, wheel popped off, he made it back to the pits just fine. And Fernando Alonso, his car just started smoking. He was running in the points, he was like 5th place or whatever, he was doing really, really well, and his car just gave up on him. And it's really sad, because Alonso really needs points now. He still has 0 points this season. He would have got points the last 2 races if his car didn't screw up, and his car screwed up, and he didn't get points. So that's really sad to see. Both Mercedes struggled in qualifying, and then again, didn't do well during the race. Like, Albon was king. There are a little bit of some not mind games, but like track games being played where Lawson was holding up everyone behind him, so Isaac Hadjar could get a free pit, and then he got a second free pit, and then that was good. And then Albon and Carlos were doing the same thing to the Mercedes, even though the Mercedes are like 5 times faster than the Williams, but it didn't matter. And Albon got 2 free pit stops, and then Carlos got a free pit stop, and then George ended up passing Albon, and then got like a 20-second penalty because he illegally passed him. So it was a whole ordeal. He's like, I'm not dealing with this. Sassy King. And then Albon took him out to dinner. I don't know how that equates. It should have been George taking Albon out to dinner. I'm not going to lie. But Albon took him out to dinner that night. So that was nice of him. Berman near the points. Colapinto did all right. That's pretty much it. It was a boring race, really. Like, other than the cool things that RB and Williams were doing, it just really wasn't fun to watch. Then again, that's pretty much every Monaco Grand Prix with how big the cars are. And again, there's really easy fixes to it. You could make the cars lighter, or not lighter, smaller. You can change the layout of the Monaco Grand Prix to allow better passing chances, but they don't seem to be doing that right now. So hopefully next year the cars are slightly smaller, so hopefully that'll play a part in better passing. Up next, on June 1st, this Sunday, at 9 a.m., it is the Spanish Grand Prix at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Jack, his prediction, Lando Norris. He either said Lando or Max. I gave him Lando because he is in the faster car. And he's I believe he's on a 2-race win streak at this point. He won Monaco. No, Max won in Imola. So he's on a 1-race win streak. He's doing really well. His confidence is back up. So I gave him Lando for that reason. I, however, have Lewis Hamilton. Now you may be thinking, Alex, why do you have Lewis Hamilton? Good question. I'll tell you why. With this new rule change and Ferrari supposedly being the best supposedly having the best front wing at this rule change, I'm going to choose Lewis. Lewis has been running really well in Monaco. He finished 5th, only to a bad qualifying. In Imola, he finished 4th. In Miami, he didn't do too hot. He finished 8th. But it's Lewis Hamilton. He's a 6-time winner of the Spanish Grand Prix, tied with Michael Schumacher. So I'm going to give him the edge. You know, he might not have all of, you know, all of the like passion he had when he 10 years ago, right? But he still is arguably a damn good driver. Not arguably, he is a damn good driver. He's a top, arguably 3 driver on the F1 grid at his peak. So this, I feel like, is going to be a big wake-up call for Ferrari, and I think they're going to do really well. My secondary would be Oscar, but you know, I'm fully going for Lewis at this point. Let's go to IndyCar, where the Indianapolis 500 took place this last weekend. Alex Palou is your winner. You know, I made a post on my social media saying, you know, they said he couldn't do it. They said he wasn't good at ovals. They said he was never going to win it, and he went ahead and won it. A great race by everyone. Obviously, Marcus Ericsson finished second but got disqualified. That improved David Malukas to second. Pavel Ward in third. Felix Rosenquist in fourth. Santina Ferrucci in fifth. Christian Rasmussen in sixth. Christian Lundgaard in seventh. Conor Daly in eighth. Takuma Sato in ninth. And Helio Castroneves in 10th. Takuma Sato led 51 laps. He was very, very good. Very, very good. But sadly only finished ninth. Also, Ryan Hunter-Reay led 48 laps. That was second most on the grid. Kyle Larson crashed. Yeah. Like, the whole thing with Kyle Larson, I felt like people were like clowning him, like, oh, this guy's better than Max Verstappen. It's like, in single seater, no, but you put him in like a dirt, like you put him in any other car that's not a single seater, except maybe GT. Kyle Larson is probably better. Like single seater and GT, Max is damn good at, right? A lot of people were clowning him. He also, I will spoil it, also DNF'd out of the Coca-Cola 600. But not a good weekend for Kyle Larson. Also, Stingray Rob also got involved in that wreck, and Kiffin Simpson also was involved in a wreck. Robert Schwartzman wrecked on 87 or something like that. I'm not gonna lie, he wrecked on 87. Reiners VK crashed. Alexander Rossi had a mechanical error. Marco Andretti crashed. Scott McLaughlin crashed. Marcus Ericsson, Cal Kirkwood, and Callum Elliott all were disqualified. Scott McLaughlin thing was really sad. The race didn't even start. They were on like the warm-up lap or whatever, and he just like pushed the throttle in, and his car just lost control and he crashed into the wall. And it was like it kind of made me almost tear up. Like it was very sad because you could tell he really wanted to do well this race. But yeah, Team Penske did not do too hot. Also, where is he? I can't find him. Justin Newgarden had a mechanical error. Scott Dixon, or where is it? Will Power did decent. He was in 16th, but to be fair, he finished it. He was like last place at the start. And Justin Newgarden didn't finish the race. And Justin Newgarden was hauling ass. Oh my God. I was like, at a certain point in the race, I was like, oh my God, he's going to do it. Like, if anyone is going to do it, it's going to be him from last place. And he ended up not making it through the rest of the race. He was done on lap 135. And then Ryan Hunter-Reay also did not make it through the entire race, also to a mechanical issue. The next race is this Sunday. You have the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix in Detroit, Michigan. 2024 winner was Scott Dixon. Jack has Pavel Ward as your winner. I originally had Palou, and you know what? I'm not going Palou anymore. I'm going Scott Dixon again. He won in 2024. 6-time champ, the oldest guy on the grid. I have him winning again. Screw it. I like Scott Dixon, so I'll have him win again. That would be nice. And finally, we have NASCAR. The Cup Series, specifically at the Coca-Cola 600. Now, I'm going to talk about the race, and then we're going to talk about Amazon and how they held it. I thought it was really good, but I'll have more thoughts. Your winner was Ross Chastain. And I'm not going to lie. Ross Chastain was going bonkers. Started from last on the grid, 40th on the grid, and made his way up to the win. I did get to see my first ever watermelon smash, which I was very excited about. You know, I love the watermelon smash. I asked my dad if I can go to the store to get watermelon. I didn't ask. I was like, hey, just, I'm going to go to the store to get a watermelon and smash it. And they're like, no, you're just not going to do that. And I was like, all right, whatever. I will at some point, though. Next time Ross Chastain wins, I'm buying a watermelon and smashing it. I promise you. I'll make a video on it, too. Second place was William Byron. Third, Chase Briscoe. Fourth, AJ Allmendinger. Fifth, Brad Keselowski. Sixth, Chase Elliott. Seventh, Michael McDowell. Eighth, Christopher Bell. Ninth, Ryan Preece. And 10th, Noah Gragson. Now, sadly for me, Bubba didn't do too well. He DNF'd. and where is he? Did he? Joey Logano finished 17th and didn't do too hot either, which is really sad because I had him winning this race. Your DNFs were Jimmy Johnson, Zane Smith, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Daniel Suarez, Bubba Wallace, Carson Hocevar, and Josh Blicky. Now back to Carson Hocevar real quick because that man was flying in the car that he had. I mean, like Carson Hocevar is a very good driver. You can easily tell. He was running up at the front all day. He was running up in the top 3 for so many laps, and he goes to make a pass, and his engine gives out and just blows up. And it's really sad. I was really sad for Carson because he was doing really well, and he's also a driver that I like a lot. But yeah, Carson Hocevar's day was ruined by a blown-up engine. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how you fix it. His car has given up on him so many times during the season. It's unbelievable. Also, Ryan Blaney, 5 DNFs. 5 DNFs this season. Absolutely disgusting. Right? Ryan Blaney is a very good driver. He should have won a couple of races by now, and he hasn't. Denny Hamlin also was running up in the top 3 for a while, even leading some laps. But at the end of the day, it didn't mean anything as he did not have enough fuel to make it through the rest of the race. He was running in the top 3 for a while and had to pit to get more fuel, which completely ruined his race. He finished 16th. And it was really sad because he was doing really well and he probably had a chance for the win, but couldn't fuel the fuel. So they loaded 1 can of fuel in, and they went to go load another can of fuel, and it just went everywhere and didn't go into the car. So, damn. Anyway, Ryan Prix, my Connecticut King, finished 9th. Good job on him. Brad Keselowski gets his first top 5 of the season, I believe. Maybe second, but he did really well in this race. And then William Byron led like 200 plus laps. I feel bad for Byron. He was leading like so many freaking laps, right? Like 3 laps to go. Maybe it was 8 laps. The Sunday races are blending in, but with only a couple laps to go, Ross Chastain makes the pass, and he doesn't give it up. And Byron looks so sad because he could have had it. He should have had it, but he did not do enough to get it. And Ross Chastain won, which is I'm very happy for. Your next race is at Nashville Superspeedway, Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jack has Ross Chastain going back to back. I have Joey Logano winning the race. My Connecticut King, Joey Logano. And now let's get into not Netflix, Amazon Prime. Right? They held the race this week. They held the next couple, I believe. But it was a much better product than Fox has ever done. They had an hour pre-show, the race, and then an hour post-show. And it was amazing. Like, it was genuinely the best experience I've ever had watching a race in NASCAR. Granted, I've only been watching for like a handful of years. Like, this is my second full year watching NASCAR. So, I haven't watched too much, but in my experience with Fox, this has been a much better product. A lot of boomers on the internet are like, oh my God, this sucks. We can't have this on Prime. How am I going to pay for that? Well, you pay for cable because of Fox. So, like, unless you're going to be on like Hulu or whatever. But like, it was a good product. I liked the graphics for the race, for the leaders and all that, and I liked it. I liked the font. Like, it just looked more pleasing it looked a lot more pleasing than Fox ever has, and it was just really nice to watch. They didn't focus on random drivers in the back of the field when someone's passing for the lead. They didn't focus on random crap when action is going on track, and I enjoyed that. It was a very well-made product. Now, a lot of people are saying that a 1 hour pre and post show are not possible at all, ever. But it probably is. I mean, realistically, you can have a pre and post show for an hour. Trust me, you can have that every race. It would be entertaining. Um, but I was very happy about the product that Amazon had. I would not mind if Amazon bought up the rights to NASCAR, to stream NASCAR. And also, I don't know the exact stat for this, but the average age of a NASCAR viewer went down for this past weekend Amazon Prime. Normally it's like 60 something, right? NASCAR has had trouble finding young viewers and all that. And, they had the average age is like 60 something, right? For a NASCAR viewer on Fox. Well, it was down in the 50s, early 50s, I'm pretty sure, right? That's good. That's progress. Especially with a sport that is very much needed more younger viewers. This kind of did it. I mean, you have an Amazon Prime. Most people have Amazon Prime because most people have Prime to, buy stuff and get the Prime, the shipping, the free shipping and all that, and some discounts and all that. Right. So people already have Amazon Prime. So having it on Prime Video really doesn't change much, except for the older viewers, right? Personally, I'm fine with ditching some of the older viewers for younger viewers, right? Because you want to grow the sport, and the way you grow the sport is not through older viewership; it's through younger viewership. So I think what the product they did on Prime was very good. I think that they need to do more. I would really hope that they make a bid for it at some point, or at least buy more races up, because it was really enjoyable. I mean, we'll see within the next couple of races they host, because I'm pretty sure they're hosting 5 races this season. We'll see what the actual product is for those races as well, but I was very pleased with it. And I'd like to see more, Anyway, that is going to be it for this podcast. Next week we should have Jack, and, we'll have hopefully more fun, because doing it by myself I like it. It's fun, but I don't know how the listeners appreciate it. But yeah, next week we'll have Jack. Thank you guys for watching Apex to Oval. And remember, this is where you get your weekly motorsports news recap. Have an amazing day.